Hello?
This is Mr. Holm.
This is Mr. Holm.
Hey, this is Agent Bradford with FBI in Birmingham. How you doing?
We are pushing forward as good as we can.
I understand. Well, I got your voicemail, and the reason I haven't called you back yet because I wanted to kind of look over everything thoroughly and kind of have as much answered as possible for you before I called you back. But I did get your voicemail. I was out of the office yesterday, actually, but Monday I spent a good part of the day looking over everything, and today also.
Okay.
And I've read over everything, and I've done research, and I've spoken to some people out there, and basically what I've done is I've written this up as a complaint for a civil rights religious discrimination potential case, also a color of law violation potentially. Is now a good time for you?
I'm sorry. I'm gonna step outside real quick. 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry. We have some children over here. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so basically what I'm telling you is when people come in with complaints, we basically document everything and it gets forwarded to the appropriate person.
Okay.
And the reason that I was the one that came down and spoke to you that day because I was told it was a kidnapping situation.
Yes.
And I work on a violent crime squad here in Birmingham, and we handle kidnappings. And when I say kidnapping, I mean in the traditional sense, when you get like, a guy who takes a kid, and asks for ransom, that kind of thing, like the old-fashioned type kidnapping.
But this is what that is, though. They're just using the law to try and do it.
No, I'm not saying this isn't anything. I'm just telling you, like, I'm explaining to you why I'm not going to be the one who's going to be looking into it.
Oh, let me rephrase that real quick. They're not trying to use the law. They're trying to use their power out of color of law. They're on the outside of law. Yeah.
Well, exactly. So I've written this up as a color of law violation potentially, and also as a civil rights violation potentially, as a religious discrimination.
Okay.
So I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just letting you know that I'm on a squad that works with violent crime. My squad doesn't work those types of crimes.
Okay.
So I'm forwarding it to the person who does.
Okay.
So I didn't want to think I was blowing you off. I've done a very thorough job of writing up everything you've given me. I've scanned in every single document you've given me. I've done research elsewhere, and if there's nothing to something, we don't write anything up. But there is, potentially something here. So that's why I've done a thorough job, and it's going to the appropriate people.
Okay.
So I mentioned to you before that we have an office in Gadsden,
yes,
Alabama. Basically, the complaint's going to them. I'm not sure which agent specifically will look into this matter going forward, but I can give you the phone number out there, and I can give you the supervisor's name if you want that.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. And do you have a case number?
No, like there's not a case number generated yet. What happens is we document a complaint on a complaint form, and it doesn't. There's no case open until the U.S. Attorney's Office is consulted with on something like this. Okay. So I'm not saying it's not going to be, but I've done all the first steps to lead to that happening.
Okay. Let me ask you a question for you. Give me that number. Would it be a good idea? I'm not trying to step on any toes. I'm trying to make sure that I'm doing all the right steps. I'm walking up a hill there, so excuse me for my breath. Would it be a good idea for me to also go to the U.S. Marshals?
I don't think so. I mean, I think we're the appropriate people for this. The Marshals, they pretty much just hunt down fugitives and do courtroom security. So we would be looking at it from a color of law violation or a civil rights violation or both.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying when you use the term kidnapping, but we would be looking at more from whether or not the child should have been taken at all and what their motivation was for taking him.
Right. Well, we just had court yesterday, and they didn't have any evidence whatsoever. Let's see here. They actually were performing things unprofessionally. I counseled myself with my wife, and at one point, the judge and the prosecutor they actually went into a closed door room as the court was going, and had an organized